Welcome everyone to the Power in Your Voice podcast. I am your host, Linda, where we'll be talking about life experience and how it's meant to keep you moving. Often we get up and we mask our hurt and our pain. Yes, that's what I said, life experience. We all have them. So we're going to learn here to deal with our issues and achieve goals because every power has a story. Welcome back to the Power in Your Voice. Today we have another great topic that we're going to be talking about. It is called interruptions. And I tell you what, things have happened since the last time we was on the podcast. But before I jump into my podcast tonight, I would like to announce the people that are on here with me. And you know, they're always my children and my grandchildren and my husband. So this is what we take pleasure in, and this is what we take joy in the ministry. So Jalen, can you say hello to the podcast, please?
Hello, everybody.
All right, that's Jalen. Ebony, can you say hello?
Hey, y'all.
That is Ebony. Davion, can you and your wife Jada say hello?
What's up,
Hey,
y'all?
All right, that's Davion and Jayla and my husband.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
All right, that is Daniel Parmalee. Y'all, I am so excited about this topic. As I have said, we're talking about interruption. I want to let you know, interruption is just a distraction. That's what it is. I always like to give you the definition. Jalen, come on, give us the definition of what interruption means.
The definition of an interruption is the stop of a continuous progress of an activity or process.
Yes, you're going to find yourself somewhere in this interruption. I would just like to talk about just for a second how to deal with interruption. How do you deal with interruption? When I think about dealing with interruption, because some interruption is unwelcome. Some interruption, it just comes to take your focus. It takes you to know how to shift things. So I want to just say, listen, how do you deal with interruption when it comes into your life? Right now we have COVID-19. Right now we're having problems with getting our children to school, sickness, murders. All of these things are happening in our world. They're talking about making sure everybody having the COVID shot. There are so many things that are going on. So Ebony, how do you deal with interruptions?
Is I like to take a time out. It's my time to, some people call it a meditation, but it's my time to sit down, breathe. I'm in a quiet place. I may do some soft music, but something that's going to relax my mind, something that's going to help me to get back on track, to relieve all the anxiety, the stress, and all of that. Take out the outside noise, that background noise, just to sit down, focus, regroup, and then I'm ready.
I like that. You said so many profound things. And that meditation is so serious because it helps us to think. We have to think even in the midst of interruption, because if you do not think, you're going to do things that is going to cost you later on. So I like that. You got to take a break. You got to settle down to say, hey, I don't know the answer to everything, but at least let me sit down and do a thinking process to what has interrupted my world. So in the midst of that, Jalen, how would you say, how do you shift your focus when your interruption is come?
So when I get an interruption, you kind of got to do like a GPS does when it's a detour. You got to reroute. So now when I get an interruption that comes, I have to now think of a new plan that incorporates this interruption. So where I wanted to go from A to B, now I got to go A, C, and now to B. And so now when you get this interruption, it's like, okay, well, that doesn't stop me from getting to my goal. But what it does make me do is have to sit back and reevaluate how I'm going to accomplish the goal with this interruption coming out of nowhere.
coming from out of nowhere. My God, that's talking about shifting your focus. Davion and Jada, how do you deal with interruptions?
I don't really handle interruptions well, I would say, like by myself. And so as soon as I have an interruption, I have to go to the Lord about it, whether I have to cry to him or I have to be angry and vent, even if I just need peace or I need some kind of direction in the room, and I'll pray and then I'll go from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Davion.
Yeah. So, man, when I tell you she is not lying, my wife is not lying when she says she goes to that prayer room. She is quick to go. And that's one thing that I have learned from her is being quick to go to the Lord whenever an interruption comes. And I'm not going to act like, I just mastered it. Every time something comes, that's the first thing I do. Sometimes it takes me a second and I'm like, okay, I know the only thing that can bring me out of this is the Lord, because if I could have done it on my own, I would have been got out of it. But a lot of the times it's only going to be the Lord who can get you out of that. And the Bible even says, come to me, all who are carrying heavy burdens and all who are weary, because he's the one who can really deal with that thing that's causing you to feel weighed down and just like something that you can't come out of it. So I completely agree. And one thing that I do that helps me a lot is I be real honest with God. I be like, and my wife taught me that, man, being honest with the Lord, man, you can't go wrong being honest, for real. So yeah, that's how I deal with it.
I like that. Well, with that, all of those talking about being interrupted, y'all, how do you shift? You got to shift that whole mindset. Because if you don't shift your mindset, you will stay stuck with the situation. You'll stay stuck with what is going on. And all your mind is doing is replaying the same old thing. You are still stuck at where the interruption is. But there is a connection to get you from one place to another. And it's also, you all brought the Lord in. You do need God to help you to shift. You do need God to help you to think. But when you get into that place, y'all, some interruption, it can take you for days to get back on track. It can take you a minute to breathe in and to breathe out, because there is an unknown of some interruption. Some interruption, they can take you off course. And as I said earlier, it can be a distraction from getting you to where you need to be. I just know that even before we got on to talk about this interruption, look at how many things interrupted us tonight. That thing could have stopped us from moving forward. Jada, let's talk about that for a little bit. When that interrupt you, tell me what interrupt you tonight.
The enemy has been trying me all day. And the crazy thing is, I was like, we have this podcast recording and I have to get my mind right for this event. But all day long, something's been coming up, and I didn't mention it before, but a lot of the times when things try to come back up, I'll go to the prayer room. And if I have to go back, I'll go back. And I got to repeat and repeat and repeat. I'll do it. But that's my simple thing. Today, the dogs chewed up the cable wire right after the cable man came to fix it, because they chewed it up. And I waited all day for them to fix this internet, just for them to do it again, maybe an hour after he left. And we all found this out, I want to say 15 minutes before this started. And I just got upset. And I was so upset to the point where I couldn't even talk to pray. And I knew it was the enemy because it was something so small, but I was so bothered by it. But still, I had to go and do what I knew best and pray.
I like that, Jada. I like that. Just before we got ready to do our major thing, there was an interruption, but I'm so grateful that you were able to focus. So I would like to leave this with my peoples, because there are so many things going on in our world. I know there are some things that is taking us off course. I want us to say, Lord, keep my mind. The next thing I want you to do do your best to learn how to shift when these things interrupt. Learn how to replay your day and come from interruption and get back into say, Lord, I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do. But if you lead and guide me, give me my wisdom, I promise you, you will be on your way. Learn how to deal with your interruption. It is always our pleasure to come before you and give you something to think about. May God continue to bless you, and may God continue to keep us all. Peace out in Jesus' name. I would like to thank you for tuning in to this podcast today. Remember, if your situation is not challenged, it cannot change. If this conversation has been a blessing to you, hit me up on my social media in the link below. I would love to hear from you. Also, take a second to share this podcast with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your associates. Everybody is welcome to the Power in Your Voice family.